How or why these lakes were selected. All our surveys now are based on a random sample design. So we didn't go to these lakes specifically for a targeted reason, except Gordy Lake because it's so unique. But we went to them just because these lakes popped up on our list of random lakes. We also intend then to go in the future to Dewey Lake's going to come up again, Moss Lake's going to be repeated again over the next 5 years, and we'll be back to Gordy Lake as well, lakes in the Turkey Creek watershed. A total of 25 different fish species. That's not unusual. The lakes are fairly typical in their species composition. We haven't found, other than carp, we haven't found the bad guys up there. The gizzard shad, which we don't want to have in the Wawasee watershed. White bass, which we now have in Wawasee, but we hope we'll never see them up in the upper lakes as well. And, we don't have the Asian carp and all the other fish that we're afraid that are spreading out throughout the state. So it is a fairly typical fish community within those lakes up there. 80% of the fish that we collect in those lakes are those insectivorous fish. Those are the bluegills, that type of fish. So that's not particularly unusual. Species total, 14 of those are sport fish species, including a very high number of sport fish. So overall, 95% of the fish in those lakes are sport fish, which to a fisherman, that's really good news. To a lake resident, I think anybody, that's a good news that we're not dominated by those rough fish, the suckers, the carp, and all the shiners, and all the other things that compete with these sport fish and can affect the quality of sport fishing. So from that standpoint, the lakes are really habitat in the lake. How much from top to bottom of the water will actually support fish. At times, Gordy Lake, as I said earlier, has been really unique in that it has a lot of oxygen down deeper where the water is cold enough that it's supported ciscos. In the last samples, the last surveys we've done over several different surveys over the last couple of years, we haven't found any ciscos, so we're concerned that maybe we've lost them all in Gordy Lake. And what we thought Gordy Lake was a feeder for ciscos that used to show up in Hinman Lake. A few years ago, I found a cisco that happened to be dying right at the time that I was there out on Knapp Lake. So the reason I'm talking about cisco is you may not know what a cisco is. It's kind of a member of the trout and salmon family, but it can only live in the cleanest water where there's plenty of oxygen. So the fact that we've lost ciscos, perhaps from this watershed, indicates that there is some decline going on. And we want to work, as you've done, to try to reverse that trend.